Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to negotiate about. This is, by the way, currently my third video today. So I am going to be giving you Manchester United's best players and worst players under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and also going to be giving you the best games and the worst games, we have enjoyed so far under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. And then a bit later on in the video, there is lots of other topics to delve into. I'm going to be negotiating with you a bit more about Paul Pogba. I'm going to be giving you also the news on Alexis Sanchez and that. So now let's delve straight into it. So I think, our best players under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, we have got quite a lot of good players in our team. Now, I've got to say I think Marcus Rashford is one of our best players, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Like I said, he was actually, one of our best players earlier on in the season before, he sustained that back injury. Now, Marcus Rashford has been out with a back injury since January. I think he has been stepping up his fitness regime, by the way. So if the football season does eventually resume, which I think it will, Rashford will be back in action. Now, like I said to so far, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with the football club. He has been a United player since the age of 7, and he has been in our senior squad since 2016. And since he broke into the senior squad, he has become an integral part of our team. Don't forget, Marcus Rashford scored twice on his debut in the Europa League against Midtjylland. He also scored twice on his Premier League debut against Arsenal, scored on his League Cup debut, and I think he also scored on his international debut, Marcus Rashford. Don't get me wrong, he's endured some difficult times as a Manchester United player. He endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. But Rashford is only the age of 22. But he has sustained a few injuries so far during his Manchester United career. But I can assure he is the foreseeable future for the football club, is Marcus Rashford. Now, like I said to you before, Rashford can play as a number 9 and he can also play out wide. But I think when Rashford does eventually come back, he will play out wide because he seems to be more effective from that right position, does Marcus Rashford. And that's where most of his goals do come from, is that right wide position. But yeah, I think he's, being one of our best players under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, has Marcus Rashford. But it will be good to see him back in action because he has been a big miss for us this season and that. But yeah, he sustained his back injury in our 1-0 win against Wolves in the FA Cup third round, and of course Solskjaer made the wrong decision by playing him in that game. But Rashford, I think, has scored like 19 goals this season in all competitions. He's got over 60-odd senior goals for the football club in just over 200 appearances. So there you go. Definitely one of our best players as well is Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Like I said, Bruno Fernandes has got 3 goals and 4 assists so far for the football club. And don't forget, he won Premier League Player of the Month for February, reflecting on his good run of performances. But like I've said before, Bruno Fernandes is very, very instrumental. His decision making is very, very good. And we paid around £65 million for Bruno Fernandes. So he's on that list as one of our most expensive signings. I think he did sign a 5.5-year deal at the club. So definitely Bruno Fernandes is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. So I credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for recommending him in the January transfer window. So yeah, he's been one of our best players under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, he hasn't been since Solskjaer got recommended in, because Solskjaer recommended Bruno Fernandes in the January transfer window. Odion Ighalo, I think he's also enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. I think he's been one of our best players, since Solskjaer recommended him in. He also came in January, did Odion Ighalo. We did pay around 3 or 4 million to get Odion Ighalo on loan. We are paying like a third of his wages. I think we're paying like £100,000 a week, because his wages at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week. Now, Odion Ighalo's loan spell at the football club ends on the 31st of May. But I think there was reports coming out a while back saying we could extend his loan until the 30th of June, due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, it does remain uncertain at the moment, if we are going to get him on a permanent transfer. I think, me personally speaking, I think we'll get him on a permanent transfer, because Solskjaer did make the admission saying, we will probably, get him on a permanent transfer. it'll only cost us like £15 million to get Odin Ighalo on a permanent transfer. So he's a cheap solution, is Odin Ighalo. You know, if he'd have been like 4 or 5 years younger, then probably, it would have cost us quite a bit more than £15 million. But Odin Ighalo's a lifelong Manchester United fan. I think he's been a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford, and he's an option of a different type of centre-forward now. I think, was it last month, his parenting club, Shanghai Shenhua, they came out and said they was willing to offer him 400 grand a week, plus a 2-year contract extension to convince him to turn down a permanent move to Manchester United. So yeah, he's been one of our best players under Solsjaker as well. I've also got to say as well, I think Wan-Bissaka, he's been one of our best players under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. And Wan-Bissaka is definitely, the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Of course, we got Wan-Bissaka last summer from Crystal Palace. Was it? We paid around £45 million for him. And he's always been very, very good as Wan-Bissaka. His defensive contribution's been very, very good always. Before the football season that got suspended, we started to see the attacking side of Wan-Bissaka's game. He's also very, very good at Palace because he made his senior debut for Palace in February 2018. But I do believe Bissaka can be our next right-back for at least the next decade or something like that. But yeah, he's obviously been one of our best players, I've got to say. I've also got to say Daniel James as well. He's also done very, very well. Like I said, when we did sign him from Swansea last summer, I did say, he would get game time, but I didn't expect him to play as many games to the extent as he has done. It was a cheap solution, because we only paid £15 million for Daniel James. With add-ons included, it risen up to like 17 or 18 million pounds. We've played Daniel James on the left and the right this season, but he's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side. That's where you see the best of Daniel James. But me, personally speaking, I think Solskjaer has overplayed Daniel James this season and that. There's obviously, been talk saying if we can get a winner in the summer, then possibly Daniel James will be loaned out. But I don't see that happening because I think Daniel James, again, is a foreseeable future for Manchester United. I think all the signings that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has recommended in so far have done well. I've got to say Harry Maguire, he's been one of our best players under Solskjaer as well. Harry Maguire, has done very, very well in that back line. We paid £80 million for him from Leicester last summer. You can say we did overpay for Harry Maguire, to be quite honest with you, we really, really did overpay for Harry Maguire. But he's done really, really well. He's addressed our defensive deficiencies. I think Harry Maguire's got, 2 goals for the football club. I also think we made the right decision by giving him the captaincy on a permanent basis. We give him the captaincy, reflecting on Ashley Young's departure. So also, Harry Maguire has done really, really well. I think also one of our best players under Solskjaer has been Fred. I've got to give Fred a hell of a lot of credit, and I've got to credit Solskjaer, for giving Fred them opportunities, because back under the Jose Mourinho era, Fred never really got his opportunities, didn't he? But I've got to say this season he has confounded his critics wrong. Now, he hasn't emulated that level as yet, but I think, Fred is a foreseeable future for Manchester United. We paid £50 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk back in the summer of 2018. I think Jose Mourinho did get him in his final transfer window as Manchester United manager. But yeah, Fred's done really, really well. He was also exceptional in Ukraine with Shakhtar Donetsk, so that's another admission I've got to make. Matic, I think he's done very, very well under Solskjaer. Like I said, he has rejuvenated himself very, very well as Matic. And I've criticised Matic a hell of a lot in the past. I really, really have criticised him a lot. Because obviously, again, we got Matic under the Jose Mourinho era. We got him back in 2017 from Chelsea. And again, you can say we overpaid for him, because we paid £40 million for Matic. He's now into his 3rd season at the football club and he has made over 100 appearances for Man United. I've got reservations about him, don't get me wrong, very, very slow and very, very ineffective. But, since he arrived with Bruno Fernandes, just for some reason, he seemed to make Matic look a lot better. We triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, but I think he deserves it, reflect on his good run of performances. Now, Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders. He's behind the likes of Fred and McTominay and that, but when he gets his chance, he has played, very, very well as Matic, and he is aging up as well, is the man Matic. I've got to say, McTominay's done very, very well under Solskjaer. McTominay has done very, very well under Solskjaer. Like I said, he hasn't emulated that level yet. and I don't know if he can emulate that level. But McTominay is only very, very young, but he's done very, very well this season. Scott McTominay, don't forget, he was out with injury for quite a while, but I think even when he came back, he also did very, very well, did Scott McTominay. So I've also got to give him a hell of a lot of credit. Martial, my perception on him, I think, he's done very, very well under Solsjaker. Don't forget, like I said to you before, Martial has endured some difficult spells as Manchester United play. Don't forget he endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. Martial is now into his 5th season at Manchester United. And he has been one of our best players under Solskjaer, because like I said, before the football season that got suspended, he was in a good vein of form. Martial has got 17, or is it 17 goals this season, 16 or 17 goals this season for the football club. And I've also got to credit Solskjaer as well for putting him back in that number 9 role. We know Martial predominantly plays out wide, and obviously, he's full that number 11 before. I think we've now got number 11 vacant because we've put Martial back in number 9. But Martial don't predominantly play in the number 9, but he has been playing central this season because he seems to be more effective in that central position, does Anthony Martial. He also did very, very well in pre-season in that central role. Like I've said to you before, one of the best seasons Anthony Martial endured was under the Louis van Gaal era. That was actually his debut season at the football club. Don't forget he scored on his debut against Liverpool. We did get Martial at the age of 19. We paid around £36 million in from Monaco, potentially rising up to 57 or 58 million based on goals and achievements, and now Martial is the age of 24. So there you go. So he's been one of our best players under Solskjaer. Also, I've got to give Luke Shaw a hell of a lot of credit because I think, he's also done really, really well as Luke Shaw. Since he's come back from injury, he's done well. He's injury prone, is Luke Shaw, so that's my element of concern about him. But there again, when he was at Southampton, he was actually, very, very injury prone. Luke Shaw's been a long-serving player at Manchester United. He's now into his 6th season at the football club. I think, we did pay around £30 million in from Southampton. I think Luke Shaw scored 2 goals for the football club since his arrival from Southampton. But when, he's fully fit and when he plays, he does do really, really well. And I would keep Luke Shaw as our first choice left back at the moment. I know we've got Brandon Williams, and he's enjoyed a very, very good season. This has been his first season in the senior squad, but Brandon Williams is still inexperienced at the moment, so he needs to gain a bit more experience first before we consider putting Brandon Williams as our first choice left back. But it's only been his first season in the senior squad, like I mentioned. But, Luke Shaw, has been one of our best players under Solskjaer. But, revert back to what I said about Martial, he's had a lot of injuries this season, so don't forget, that's had, a bad effect on the player. Got to say as well, I think Lindelof, Lindelof's been one of our best players under the Solskjaer era. Don't get me wrong, Lindelof's enjoyed a couple of bad games and he's not a world-class centre-half as yet, but we need to keep him as one of our first-choice centre-halves because, I think, he is too good to be a backup centre-half, is Lindelof. Now, Lindelof, obviously, we got him under the Jose Mourinho era. We paid £30 million in from Benfica. He struggled for that consistency in his first season, didn't really settle in, but I thought last season and this season, a hell of a lot of aspects of his game have really, really improved. And Lindelof has done very, very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. And Lindelof's still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. So let's just put that into the equation. Eric Bailly, I haven't really had a perception on Eric Bailly, to be quite honest with you, because, he's seldom played this season because obviously, he was out with injury for a while. But, since he came back, he did very, very well, did Eric Bailly. I think it was the 2-0 win against Chelsea, that was his first start in the Premier League, was it, since last season, if I'm right. And he made a massive impact. And again, I've got to say, Bailly's too good to be a backup centre-half, but he is one of our backup centre-halves at the moment. I've always highly rated Eric Bailly. Obviously, we got him under the Mourinho era. He was actually, Jose Mourinho's first signing at the time. We paid around £30 million for him from Villarreal. So I wouldn't say he's been one of our best players under Solskjaer because this season he hasn't really played, Eric Bailly. So let's just put that into the equation as well. I've also got to say as well, Mason Greenwood. He's been one of our best players this season when he has been playing. But there again, he's seldom started in the Premier League as Mason Greenwood. He's started more games like in the cups and cup games and that. But I do expect next season for Mason Greenwood to get more opportunities, because definitely Mason Greenwood is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. You know, he only made his full debut for the football club last season in our 2-0 home defeat to Cardiff, and he's only, the age of 18, the age of 19. I think Greenwood, has he got like 12 or 13 goals in all competitions this season for us. But obviously he's a backup at the moment. He's a backup to the likes of Rashford and Martial and that. You know, he's Mason Greenwood. But I think in the next year or two, you know, he will emulate to Rashford's level and probably will end up overtaking Marcus Rashford, if I am going to be quite honest with you. So there you go. Brandon Williams, I've also been very, very impressed with him. Brandon Williams. Tuanzebe did well in the games. You know, he played earlier on this season. Chon, haven't really got a perception on Chon because he's seldom played. Same sort of perception with Angel Gomez. You know, he's seldom played this season. So again, don't really have a perception on Angel Gomez. We're hoping, you know, that we can get a new contract, you know, for Angel Gomez. I think we are hoping to get Angel Gomez a new 2-year contract at the football club. So yeah, so I've got to say, I think, yeah, they have been our best players under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Obviously, all them players I've just mentioned here are not all Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's players, but, you know, I think, you know, they have been our best players under the Solskjaer era and that. So let me just give you, you know, the worst players, you know, under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era and that, and the players that have been actually, you know, very, very inconsistent, especially this season. So definitely, you know, Jesse Lingard, I think, you know, he's been very, very inconsistent, especially, you know, under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Jesse Lingard is one of the players I expect Manchester United to get rid of in the summer, because Jesse Lingard, you know, has been very, very inconsistent for Manchester United. Obviously, like I said to you before, you know, reflects on the years he's been at the football club and reflecting on his status at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. I think Lingard has got exactly now a year remaining on his Man United contract. There was reports saying, you know, that we could trigger that 12-month extension on his contract, to be quite honest. This is what it had basically said regarding Jesse Lingard. I think reportedly up to 4 Premier League clubs have expressed their interest in Lingard. But Lingard has lost the confidence of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think, you know, we do value Jesse Lingard at around 30 million. I've got to say, he's probably the worst player, you know, that we've got at the moment, or one of the worst players if he isn't the worst player. Same perception, Andres Pereira. You know, I think he's been very, very bad under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Maybe he's had a good couple of games, but I think the vast majority of his games he's been very, very inconsistent. Andres Pereira, you know, I've criticised him so many times, and, you know, he only became a regular last season anyway. But obviously, you know, he's been a regular this season, but that was only due to Scott McTominay's injury. But now, obviously, you know, McTominay's come back. You know, before the football season got suspended, you saw the vast majority of Pereira's appearances, you know, coming from the substitutes bench. So let's just put that into the equation. And I've got to say as well, Alexis Sanchez, you know, one of the worst players, you know, we've ever brought in. I think he was also very, very bad under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. He was very, very bad, was Alexis Sanchez. Don't forget, you know, we did get Alexis Sanchez back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal with Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. Sanchez, you know, did endure 18 months with the football club in total. Obviously, it was Mourinho that brought him in, but obviously, you know, he played under Solskjaer's guidance as well. But he didn't really play for us because, you know, he did sustain quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, did Alexis Sanchez and that. You know, obviously, you know, he is on loan at Inter Milan at the moment. You know, like I said, you know, Inter Milan are not going to get him on a permanent transfer. We don't really want him back at the football club. You know, but I'm going to give you some more news on Sanchez a bit later on in the video anyway. So he's obviously, you know, been, you know, he was very, very poor under Solskjaer. Also, too, I think, you know, Phil Jones has been very, very poor under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But I think he's always been very, very inconsistent anyway. You know, Phil Jones has been at Man United since the Alex Ferguson era. You know, Phil Jones is now into his 9th season at the football club. He's into his 9th season at the football club, is Phil Jones. But we might as well get rid of Phil Jones because he can't even get into the team now anyway, can Phil Jones. because, you know, he's like I think he's like our fifth choice centre half. He's Phil Jones, if I'm right. Yes, he is. So there you go. And I think another one of our worst players, especially under Solsjaker, was Marcus Rojo. There again, Marcus Rojo is like our sixth choice centre half. I also thought he was very, very injury prone at Man United was Rojo. He is out on loan at Estudiantes at the moment, he's Marcus Rojo. I think he wants his loan though extended at Estudiantes. There's no point in coming back to Man United because obviously, you know, Marcus Rojo, he's not going to get into the team. So, you know, he was also very, very poor under the Solskjaer era. Of course, Ashley Young was one of our worst players as well. You know, of course, he was bad under Solskjaer as well, you know, before we let him go in January earlier on this year. Obviously, you know, we got Ashley Young, of course, under the Ferguson era. Didn't we pay around £17 million for him from Aston Villa? He actually began his career at Watford. He was good at Villa, was young, and then we got him under Ferguson. I think he had a good first couple of years at Man United, but I thought he had about 5, 6 years then at the football club, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. You know, but Young was a long-serving player at Manchester United, but we did let him go to Inter Milan for just over £1 million. I've got to say as well, you may not agree with me on this, but I think actually, you know, David De Gea has been, you know, very, very poor under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. He's had some good games, but like I've said to you, know, David De Gea has been a liability at least in the last year and a half, 2 years or so. You know, he's made quite a few calamitous mistakes. He was making some of these calamitous mistakes under the Jose Mourinho era. Now, David De Gea, you know, is now into his 9th season at the football club. You know, so he has been a long-serving player at Man United. De Gea has been here since the Alex Ferguson era. You know, we paid around £17 million for him from Atletico Madrid. David De Gea, again, wasn't great in his first season, but I've got to say De Gea's had a good 6.5 years, or maybe 7 years out of the 9 years he's been at the football club. You know, he's still regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world because David De Gea has won everything here domestically. He's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the past 6 years or so, reflects on his good run of performances. I think he's made 400 or nearly 400 appearances for us in all competitions. So there you go. You know, if he was to leave Manchester United, I think David De Gea would make a return back to Spain. You know, don't forget Real Madrid came close to getting him back in 2015, but due to a fax machine, the deal never really materialised. You know, this is why David De Gea didn't go to Real Madrid, but Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him. PSG and Juventus have also been in for him. Don't forget David De Gea came out and said that, you know, he wants to stay at Manchester United and he intends to stay at the football club for another 10 years, and he's now approaching his 10th year at the football club. But I don't see David De Gea staying for another 10 years, but I think he will be here for the foreseeable future, and he will remain our number one next season, will David De Gea as well. Because obviously, you know, we're thinking about putting Dean Henderson out on loan again, but we won't get rid of Dean Henderson permanently because we see Dean Henderson as a long-term replacement for David De Gea, but Dean Henderson has done very, very well on his loan with Sheffield United, so let's just put that into the equation. But I think he's been, you know, one of our worst players is De Gea. Analysing the vast majority of Solskjaer era, David De Gea has been very, very poor because he has made a hell of a lot of mistakes, but he's still a very, very good goalkeeper, you know, don't get me wrong. You know, don't get me wrong in that, you know, he's still a very, very good goalkeeper. But yeah, so that's really it, and you know, you saw my video the other day that I did, you know, the best signings and the worst signings that Man United have made since the Alex Ferguson era. And like I've said to you, know, we have recruited over 30-odd players in since the Ferguson era. I think another one of the worst signings, you know, we made, and one of the most inconsistent players we've had is Marion Fellaini. You know, he was very, very inconsistent. You know, Fellaini endured 6 years at the football club. He endured 6 years at the football club. And, you know, we paid just over £27 million for him under the David Moyes era, Marion Fellaini. You know, so he was also very, very bad. Amanda Herrera, you know, he's also one of the best players, you know, we've had as well since the Ferguson era. I know he's no longer here now, you know, because we did let Ander Herrera go last summer, but I thought he put some very, very good performances out as well under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Ander Herrera, but, you know, he did enjoy 5 years at the football club, did Ander Herrera, but it infuriated me, you know, that we did let Ander Herrera go on a free transfer and that. So, there you go. So they're the best players. I think they are the players that have, you know, been the best under Solskjaer, and I've obviously, you know, gone through with you, you know, the worst players, you know, under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, you know, so there you go. But like I've said to you, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has recruited 5 players into the football club so far, in 3 transfer windows, and he has spent around £220 million at the football club and that. And like Solskjaer revealed, he's looking to make around 4 signings in the summer transfer market because he believes we need around 4 signings, to become title contenders next season. And obviously, he does want to recruit the right calibre players into the football club. And he still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players, to Manchester United like he did do last summer. And Solskjaer's already identified the areas where he does want to strengthen up. He wants to recommend a centre forward in. He also wants to recommend a right winger in, and he also wants to recommend a midfielder in. There's still some reports emerging out saying that he wants to recommend a centre half in and that. But Solskjaer has got the backing of Ed Woodward. He's also got the backing of the Glazers. He's also got the backing of the Glazers and all of that, because Ed Woodward said on numerous occasions this season that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe at the football club and that. At the football club and that. So there you go. There you go, basically. And so now we will delve into, the best games and the worst games that we've had under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Now, I think, Solskjaer's managed around 50 games, is it, in the Premier League for Manchester United since he got recommended in. I can't remember how many games he's managed in all competitions. So we'll go through the best games he's enjoyed as Manchester United manager. We'll also include, the 3 months when he was the interim manager. So one of the best games, we have enjoyed under the Solskjaer era, I think, was his actual first game against Cardiff, when we did beat them by 5-1. I do remember that game rightly. That was his first game, as Manchester United manager. And like I said, that game was the first time we'd scored 5 goals, since the Alex Ferguson era. So that's one of the best games we've enjoyed under Solskjaer. Also, too, I think another one of the best games we enjoyed under the Solskjaer era was the 3-1 win against PSG. That was his last game as the interim manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. Obviously, don't forget, we was 2-0 down from the first leg against PSG. We lost 2-0 at Old Trafford, so we obviously, had to overcome a 2-goal deficit. And we did that, and we beat PSG in the second leg by 3-1. Don't forget, it was a Marcus Rashford penalty. And I think that was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moment as manager, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think, another one of the best games we've enjoyed under the Solskjaer era, was the 4-0 win against Chelsea at the start of this season. That was, a big win, we had against Chelsea. So that's one of the best games, he's enjoyed as Manchester United manager. I think also, too, the 2-0 win against Manchester City, which was our last league game before the football season got suspended. That's another one of the best games that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's enjoyed as Man United manager, because we did beat Manchester City by 2-0. You can also say the 2-1 win against City at the Etihad, was one of the best games that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enjoyed. That was another one, I think another one of the best games he enjoyed was, the 5-0 win against Club Brugge in the Europa League. Even though the Club Brugge are a big club, but it was still a very, very good win. Also, too, the 5-0 win against Lashkino was one of the best games he enjoyed. Also, too, the 6-0 win against Tranmere in the FA Cup. That's another one. 6-0 win against Tranmere. 4-1 win against Newcastle. That's another one of the best games he enjoyed as Manchester United manager. Don't forget, got to say the 2-0 win against Chelsea. That was another one of the best games he enjoyed. Last season as well, there was a few good games he enjoyed. The 3-1 win against Arsenal in the Cup. The 2-0 win against Chelsea in the FA Cup as well. They're another, few games. They're another one of the best games he enjoyed. So we've had quite a lot of good games under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. The 2-1 win against Tottenham as well earlier on in the season. So so I think, as I think they're the best games, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has enjoyed as Manchester United manager, if I am, going to be quite honest with you. So let's go through the worst games, that we have enjoyed. So I think the worst games we've enjoyed was, the worst game, we've enjoyed under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, you know, was the 4-0 defeat to Everton last season. You know, don't forget we did lose them to Everton last April by 4-0. I think that's the heaviest defeat we've endured under the Solskjaer era. And don't forget, you know, after that game, Solskjaer had come out and, you know, publicly apologised, so I did credit him for that. I think also too the 2-0 home defeat to Cardiff at the end of last season, that was also a very, very bad result. The 1-1 draw against Huddersfield was at the third or second to last game before the end of last season. That was also another really, really bad result. You know, also too, you know, there's a few others as well. You know, the 2-0 defeat to Burnley was one of the worst games we've endured. That was actually, you know, our last defeat. So there is quite a few, you know, bad results, you know, we've had under Solskjaer. You know, we've had quite a lot of draws as well under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. 1-1 with Southampton. I think one of the worst games we've endured under Solskjaer as well was the 2-1 defeat to Crystal Palace near the start of the season. You know, so there is the 2-0 defeat to Arsenal on New Year's Day. You know, the 1-0 defeat to Newcastle. That's also another one of the worst, one of the baddest games, you know, we've endured under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So yeah, so that's really it, you know, to be quite honest with you. But there you go. So like I said, you know, the news on Sanchez is that reportedly, you know, there's been talks saying that he could be, you know, finishing his career at Universal Dad, which I think is chilly, by the way. You know, I think we need to get rid of Sanchez on a permanent transfer, or at least loan him out for another season. You know, like I've said, I don't want Alexis Sanchez back at Manchester United. Of course, like I said, I'll talk with you a bit about Paul Pogba now. Like I said, Paul Pogba, you know, has been mainly inconsistent for us. I've already, you know, said to you, if Paul Pogba leaves Man United in the summer, he'll either go to Real Madrid. If he doesn't go to Real Madrid, he'll make a return back to Juventus. Like I updated you on my video this morning, you know, Solskjaer says, you know, he wants Paul Pogba to stay because he wants him to build a partnership with Bruno Fernandes. And he also has told Paul Pogba that he wants to make him a key part of the club's future. So maybe Solskjaer thinks Paul Pogba, you know, is a foreseeable future for Manchester United. But there's been reports saying, you know, we could only get 60 or 70 million pounds for him this summer. So we could get, you know, less, you know, than what he's actually worth. You know, don't forget the Juventus director came out and he said, you know, teams are going to struggle, you know, to meet his wage demands because Pogba is on like, what, 300 grand a week at the football club. So he is one of the highest paid players. If he doesn't leave in the summer, you know, I think, you know, we are going to, you know, trigger an extension on his contract. But there's still a possibility, chance that Pogba, you know, could be at Manchester United next season and that. So there you go. I've also give you an update on the transfer news. Earlier on, I give you the news on Diet Upamecano. You know, I give you obviously, you know, the news on Kane. I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Jadon Sancho on a regular basis. I give you the news on Donny van de Beek yesterday. You know, so there has been a hell of a lot of players on our agenda. So there you go. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.